Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Coddywwomple's Bookstop. I have uploaded 2 videos in the series of Dead Poet Society and Freedom Writers. What do they have for us? This is the final part of the series and the most crucial one. So let's get straight into the video. Why literature? In fact, I have loads to quote. Why shouldn't we? Yes, literature plays an important role in widening our horizon. We can't simply travel the world and experience everything in a lifetime, but books help us in these aspects. They show us the vivid culture, society, people, and way of living. It also promotes language learning. New words, idiomatic expressions, and phrases could be learned. Some are even brought into daily practice too, like Shakespeare's "All that glitters is not gold." Literature is interwoven to the chaos of life. Regarding language and vocabulary, James Joyce is simply undeniable. His Ulysses boasts about 30,000 unique words, meaning words that don't occur elsewhere in the book. And Joyce is credited with transforming many words and phrases into new forms and usages. Herman Melville's Moby Dick is also magical in that regards. It spots about 17,000 unique words and uses them in a much denser way than even Ulysses, offering up a new one in practically every line. Literature enhances our imagination. It boosts our imaginative power. Days with empiric formulations of activities are quite somber and gloomy. Life should be given a chance of imagination to boost our spirit and positiveness. Did we ever move on to our graduation classes without having a taste of the highly acclaimed Christmas Carol? It does exactly make us pause to consider the consequences of our actions. Every stone cast into a pond causes ripples, as Ebenezer Scrooge learned during his time spent with ghosts of past, present, and future. What else we want to look in for power of imagination? Critical thinking skills are perhaps the most fundamental skills involved in making judgments and solving problems. To develop them aptly, we should have a wide observation of the world. Expand your worldview and understand that your experiences are not universal. Learn about the world through books and see how it often introduces you to a different perspective of the world, or even a different world altogether. Reading allows someone to constantly ask questions about the created world and find ways it parallels their own. Similarly, literature reflects the lives of many people. It's like a mirror which captures the exact images of various lives in society, which others are not aware. It helps us to have a quick glance on what's actually happening right out there. Things Fall Apart, written by Chinua Achebe, was one of the first works of fiction to present African village life from an African perspective. He has constantly argued for the right of Africans to tell their own story in their own way. How easily we travel with the Igbo traditions of a mafia village and the adventures of a conqueror. Reflections on abundant diversities of society, people, traditions, customs, rituals, lifestyle are beautifully captured in many great literature. Literature acts as a time machine, where you can travel to the past and future set in each set of book and have all possible sorts of knowledge. We can simply explore the cultural and ethnic dimensions of another time simply through books. Who can forget the classic Time Machine by H.G. Wells? His prescient visions of the future remain unsurpassed still. Even 70 years after his death, it is hard to find a contemporary author who embraces the future as imaginatively as Wells did. Literature promotes empathy. where we have this feeling of walking in another people's shoes. We can get into know the pains undergone by a Holocaust survivor or a murder witness, or the happiness going through a girl who gets eyesight after medications. Literature serves this amazing purpose. Literature is life. Life can't be complete without literature. How can we simply forget that precious moment from Freedom Riders, where Miss Gruel and the rest of the student was literally walking through the shoes of the introvert who dared to step out that moment before his teacher thanking for being the inspiration in his adversities? How can we ever forget Hassan, the kite runner of Khalid Hosseini's Kite Runner, who captured our mind with his honesty, innocence, and sacrifice? Didn't we travel thousands of miles to the plight of Hassan and the contrasting emotions of Amr? Literature has no bounds. It motivates us and inspires us to find best possibilities for ourselves, free from conformity and rules, just like Todd Anderson cracked out of his shell of ignorance and learned to compose his own poem in front of the class spontaneously on the moment. And besides all these facts, quoting Dead Poet Society, we love literature, we love poetry, because we are members of the human race. We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are all noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. Literature also enables escapism, which provides a psychological escape from thoughts of everyday life by immersing the individual in active reading. One can literally forget all the follies, frets, and fever of the world and escape into the exotic realm of imagination. While talking about escapism, Keats is the name most associated to it. His lines in Ode to a Nightingale are epic. That I might drink and leave the world unseen, and with thee fade away into the forest dim, fade far away, the soul and quite forget what thou among the leaves hast never known, the weariness, the fever, and the fret. Entertainment can be anything that brings pleasure to the participant. By that logic, books are entertainment because they bring pleasure to the reader. When we read a book, our mind always creates that imaginative realm where we have virtually in our mind all the characters and all the settings and everything. What can be more entertaining and more exciting than to live a whole new other life with all such promising features? And finally, as Robert Frost said, to make the ultimate difference in your life, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.